So here we have an example of a deterministic finite automata with an accept state. And when we write out DFAs in this graph notation here, we will generally use two circles to represent states that are accept states. Now, a DFA can have 0 accept states, as you've seen previously. They can have infinitely many accept states. They can have just a few accept states. It doesn't matter. This DFA has 3 total states, A, B, and C, and it has 2 inputs, 0 and 1. So the way accept states work is that after every input has been submitted into the machine, if the state of the machine is on an accept state, then the entire sequence of inputs are considered to be valid. And what do I mean by that? Well, we'll go through a couple of examples here, and we'll see how the machine reacts as we input these strings into them. So when inputting sequences into a machine, we go character by character. So we start at, oops, I forgot. This is the starting state here. Okay, so we start at A. Okay, and we input 1. So after we input 1, we are at state B. Okay, we are now at state B, which is not an accept state, but that's okay because we still have these characters to go. So we're not done inputting yet. Our machine hasn't given us the green light because there's still more to go. All right, so we are at B, we input 0, and we end up at C. Fair enough. We are at C, and we input 1, and we remain at C. We are at C, we input 1, and we remain at C. We are at state C, we input 0, and we go here to state B. We are at state B, we input 1, and we go to state A. Now, after inputting this entire string into the machine, we are at A, which is an accept state, which means that this whole string is determined to be valid by this machine. So let's go to the next one. We're gonna start at A, we input 1, and we go to B. We are at B, we input 1, and we go to A. We are at A, we input 1, and we go to B. We are at B, and we input 1, and we go to A. And we keep doing this until we finish inputting the string. So we are at B, and we finished inputting the entire string. We are not in an accept state. B is not an accept state, only A is. So therefore, this string is determined by this machine to be invalid. It's not a valid string by this machine. All right, so what about this string? 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Well, let's try it out. A, we start at A, we input 1, and we go to B. We are at B, we input 0, and we go to C. We are at C, we input 1, and we stay at C. We are at C, we input 0, and we go to B. We are at B, we input 0, and we go to C. We are at C, we input 0, and we go to B. We are at B, we input 1, and we go to A. We have no more characters to input, and we are at A, so this is a valid string by this machine. So what is this doing exactly? Well, this machine is actually constructed to determine if the binary number that you've inputted is a multiple of 3. So the strings here that are accepted by the machines are multiples of 3, and we can kind of see that this is 1, 2, 4, so 5. This is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13, 16, I believe this is 32, so 32 plus 15, oops, 32, 15, yeah, 40, 48, 4 plus 8 is 12, 12 is divisible by 3, so this binary number is divisible by 3, so it's a multiple of 3. I'm not going to bother doing this one because I think this is like 64 or something, and I don't want to do the addition. So yeah, generally, what's meant by accepted or invalid or valid is yes or no. DFAs can answer yes or no questions. For example, is this a multiple of 3? Is this string a multiple of 3? And we can see here this one is not, and this one is. And this is an example of a DFA that can answer such questions.